just got the tedder hooked up, so catching me midstream here, catching myself midstream. My SD card was full of my camera, so I didn't get any footage of the first cutting of 2024, but that's okay. I did 14 acres this morning. I'm gonna do the last 12 in the morning, fingers crossed. And we normally do 35 acres, but we've reduced, had to let a field go, so we're only doing 26. And it was the best hay field, but unfortunately, geographically, it was the hardest hay field to get to. And I was walking my legs to death, checking for bugs almost every day. So just trying to streamline a few things. Typically, I do a lot of the work myself. My husband helps me keep the equipment going. So he's like the behind the scenes guy, and then he helps on days when we're baling the hay. So collectively, I think it's just going to be easier on everybody. And we're doing liquid nitrogen on all the fields this year. We did it only on one field last year. Turned out super well, so I'm hoping that's going to close the gap of losing a little bit of acreage. And we're going to do some square bales too. We're going to see how that goes. We did 100 square bales last year, right at the end of the year, and everything went so nice. And so I'm excited to get that equipment out and give it a try. But we're wasting time. It's warm, it's low humidity, but it's not hot. So I need to get this hay fluffed out and let it kind of cure and help it on its way a little bit. Okay friends, I think where I left off at the other day, I was going to try and cut 12 more acres. Well, I decided not to. It wasn't quite ready, didn't have the height I was really wanting it to have. So we're going to wait it out another week or 10 days. And we're trying to get the 14 acres I had cut, we're trying to get it raked up right now. And it's a whole nother beast because we're doing square bales. So I'm having to rake a little different to make sure I got enough room in between my windrows. So it's a whole new learning day. It's fun though, I'm excited. So we're gonna see what this brings. The hay is definitely dry. It's been excellent drying days. And just trying to get these last few acres. I think we're fixing to get the baler out here. I've gotten 3 windrows done so I can get my outside rows baled up and then start my in-betweens back and forth. So I think Anthony, I don't know what Anthony's looking at over there. Checking hay, I'm not sure. Hope you don't see nothing wrong or see a problem. I don't think so. Everything's been clicking pretty good. But anywho, we're going to keep on rolling. guys, we've leaked into day 2 of this baling. We were so slow yesterday, like, man, a turtle would have beat us down. But we were having to, I was having to rake, then I was having to bale. Anthony was walking beside the baler and the accumulator, making sure everything was going off okay. And the accumulator kept tripping prematurely every now and again because some of the bales were getting too long, and it wasn't letting the little gates flap back down. So we had to tweak that, and just on top of the learning curve, holy smokes, what a day. We were so slow. Then I can't load, he can't load, we can't unload. It's hard stacking it in the barn. Just everything's so different than round bales. But I feel like we're getting a little bit more rhythm today, so I'm able to rake, he's able to bale, and now we just gotta work on loading, offloading, and stacking in the barn. But I think we're getting there. I think Anthony touched every bale that went into the barn just to kind of snug them up on the stack, because we sure don't want to tumble our stack over right out the gate. That would be embarrassing. So that's what we're doing. We're day 2 of this. We're making headway. I'm excited. Weather's been good. No complaints. Alright guys, we got all the hay baled up, got it put in the barn, everything went really well. Now I've got the sprayer hooked up, getting ready to put out some nitrogen. I've got to recalibrate though. I always tell myself that I can remember what nozzles, what gear, what PSI, what speed, but let's be honest, I can. I got the plus 40s disease, and I've got to write it down now. So that's what I've started doing. So once again, I got to calibrate the sprayer, but I've got 2 markers put out 204 feet across, or apart, excuse me, because my nozzles are 20-inch spacings. So I'm gonna have to make 3 passes, get out, take the time it took for those 3 passes, take the mean of that time, and collect water from a nozzle. Do that 3 times using 3 different nozzles, get the mean of that, and however many ounces that is, that's gonna be your gallons per acre. So I need around 25 gallons per acre just to be really comfortable, and I can, because I find myself anyways running a little bit slower than what I've calibrated at. So if I can get at 25, I'll be happy. Alright, first run, 39.98 seconds at 3.5 miles per hour, 30 psi. So let's see what run number 2 will do. Speed, try to hit start on this when my front tire gets to my marker. Sometimes I just completely miss the start button because there's too much going on. And by the chart, this should be about 26 gallons per acre, but if your pump is wore out and tired like mine is, it might be a little bit less. So I do like to double check rather than just go by the chart. 40.16. So we're pretty consistent. Alright, run number 3. .54, so that's all real close. Alright, so the mean of all 3 times pretty much is 40 seconds. So I'll measure 3 different nozzles, 3 different times, 40 seconds each. See how many ounces each nozzle gives me. Take the mean of that, and that's generally your gallons per acre. I'm hoping it's going to be around that 25 gallon per acre mark, but if not, it's okay. I'll just slow down a little bit. Going so slow takes forever. 3.5 miles an hour at least feels like you're making some headway. So fingers crossed that that's what it's going to be, or at least real close. Alright, so I hit it. I don't know how I got so lucky, but the back nozzle gave me 25, the right-sided nozzle gave me 24, and the left-sided nozzle gave me 24, so I can't complain. It's not worth tweaking anything over, you know, a half a gallon per acre, really. So I'm not, yeah, I could tweak my PSI up just a little bit or slow my speed down just a little bit, but normally my speed ends up being a little bit slower just because this land is a little bit hilly. So while you're pulling hills, you might be doing 3 miles per hour rather than 3.5, and it's really not worth fussing over. So I'm just gonna stick right there, and that went a lot faster than I thought it would. So we'll be spraying nitrogen next. All right, guys, we're here at the nitrogen tanks. This is gonna be my first time getting nitrogen out of these tanks. And to say I'm nervous is an understatement, because the last time I tried using nitrogen, or the first time last year I tried using nitrogen, I spilt it absolutely everywhere. So lesson learned on my part. I now have my hose bungee strapped in, so that doesn't slide back out. We got these conical tanks last year. I'm just going to tell you some things that I've goofed on after getting these. Is I did not put an extension on my valve to get it out from under the tank. So now you got to crawl under there like a mouse to hook your hose up and turn the valve on. And because it's so tight in between the legs, I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's so tight in there that the cam locks, you have to turn them at like a 2 o'clock and 8 o'clock position. So then the bottom cam is in the dirt and the top one is against the legs, and then when you're trying to lock them in place or unlock them, you're scrubbing it against that leg, which I'm afraid is gonna loosen my valve up, or, you know, kind of break my threads loose. And the reason why I didn't put an extension on it initially is because I thought that it would have too much torque on it and you would easily knock the threads loose. So I need to come up with something. I do need an extension, but I need a way to kind of secure the extended arm so it doesn't wiggle with any torque on it. So lessons learned. We're doing everything different this year, and everything is a little sketch, but I feel like everything's going well. The intentions are good, the process is good. It's the technique and the details that are going to need some tweaking, that's for dang sure. But I'm fixing to put out 100 gallons or about 110 gallons of nitrogen. I'm also going to put my Resolon in, 3 ounces to the acre and 8 ounces to the acre of Besiege for bugs. So mix and order, if I read right, understood right, is going to be nitrogen, Resolon, and then Besiege. I've got to do a jar test on it because I've never mixed all that stuff together, and we'll see how that goes. If it's not compatible, I'll do nitrogen, then come back and do my Resolon and my Besiege. But hopefully I can get it all put out at one time, because that would be so awesome, not have to track across the field a million times. All right, we're fixing to let the good times roll. Hopefully I can get this open without causing a calamity. Let's see, down is down, open. I may have to go around to the other side. This is what I'm talking about. It's hard. It's a hard deal going around. Okay. And the problem is now I can't see my tank. Let's go slower than that. Okay, back around. Should have enough pressure, I think, enough height on the tank to make it to this tank. There we go. I'm nervous. I'm just like a cat on a hot tin roof right now. I don't see any leaks. Good, good, good. There she went. All right, there's the jar test. Everything seems to be normal. No gelling, no separation, no particles. So I think we're a go, fixing to get started. All right, guys, that's it. Got all the nitrogen put out, got the Resilon and the Besiege put out, and my calibration was pretty on target, which made me happy. And we've already got some severe thunderstorms in the area. I can do without the storm part, but the rain sure would be nice. So I'm gonna hustle and get this cleaned up, and I'll see y'all on the next go.